Hello everyone, my name is Mike on a Bike and welcome back to another episode of Grid Legends. So today we had quite a few options in regards to different types of cars we could drive on various tracks. Looking through these, as much as I loved classic touring cars, I opted out to go for the GT2 class. I find these cars to be probably the most well-balanced ones, and as we're loading in, we're starting dead last, and about an 18-second gap to the vehicle in first. And with that, we begin our attack on the vehicle just ahead of us. Looks like somebody had just also joined the race. Go through the left-hand corner, and it seems like Flexington just ahead of us prefers the wider exit. As we make our way towards the S section of the course, Flexington not seeming to have a lot of control over the car, given that these cars are very balanced. And into the right-hand hairpin we go, as Flexington executes the perfect drift and a Ferrari parked sideways. And at this point we have an absolutely astonishing run on the Aston Martin, heading towards a double left-hand corner, trying to brake as late as I possibly can into this corner. The Aston Martin just dives right along the inside, and we were trying to be as patient as possible, passing around the outside, and we get an amazing run once again on Flexington as he blocks us and puts us right into the wall. Thankfully though, Crescent Valley provides us with a really long straight, so we get the complete benefit of slipstream here as we pass him along the outside of this long winding left-hand corner, almost as though he wasn't really contending at all. He didn't really fight that one as hard. And at a quick glance in the rear view mirror, we can see that a Porsche has actually just pulled up onto his rear bumper, and it looks like he's got some more fighting to do, and this helps us pull away quite easily actually. Fast forwarding a little bit further into the lap, we can see that we are now catching up to a small group of racers just ahead of us. And since they are a group, they now have the benefit of being able to slipstream each other, as I'm still just far enough away that I'm not able to do so. But I do manage to catch up as they commit a few heinous mistakes on humanity. And we're just gonna pass them right on the outside until that arrow. It's never a good thing. We get spun out, and hitting that rewind button, we continue as if nothing happened. Well, something happened. We did lose quite a bit of time. And after a moment of throwing my hand up in frustration, we press on. We push forward, and we can see we are still gaining on the vehicles that are just ahead of us as we go through the right hairpin once again. The Ford GT goes off the track as we have some Corvette on Corvette action. We dip to the right-hand side. The yellow Corvette nearly hits us, and we took just enough evasive action climbing that curb, making sure we use all of the track possible to make that pass happen. Now, into the final corners of this lap, everybody seems to enjoy going wide as we tuck into the slipstream of the Porsche just ahead of us, and the Ford not making it easy on us as we tuck ourselves in. Thankfully, we carried just enough speed to make that happen, and we slingshot right past the Porsche. Now, at this point, I was trying to give the Porsche a little bit of slipstream before we hit the corner just to have the two vehicles behind us do a little bit of battle, but thankfully, we may have had a little bit of a taller gear ratio, which allowed us to slowly pull away. And the next contender just ahead of us is a laggy Dodge Viper, who, in my surprise, didn't in fact go wide like everybody else. As a matter of fact, he didn't go wide enough. I don't know what kind of innuendo you guys were expecting me to commentate on here, but this is a very professional channel, and I'd appreciate if you didn't look too deep into it. Right, now fast forwarding once again, a little bit further into lap 4, we're catching up to another gaggle of vehicles, and at the very top of the hill we can see somebody's going just a little bit too slow, and into the double left-hand corner, we've got a Porsche going off track and rejoining like a boss, effectively pushing the Ferrari off track. And as they go side by side through the S section of the course, we make it just past the Porsche there, and trying to keep it as clean as I possibly can against this Ferrari. It's a Ferrari on Ferrari battle. They're both built the same, but let's see who's built to win as we outbrake ourselves just a touch, not turning in early enough, and we lose that position to the Porsche. and into a very tiny chicane, probably pebble-sized chicane. Down the back straight we go, and I forget where I am. I could not see around the Porsche at the time. I guess I was too fixated. But we get a tremendous exit out of that last corner as the Porsche loses its back end, and we are now side by side, more or less trying to fight for the slipstream of the Ferrari just ahead of us. And since we can now see the Porsche in our rearview mirror, we'll slot in right behind that Ferrari as we are now gaining miles per second. And we use the banking along the right hand side of the track to make that overtake happen. We can see in the rearview mirror that Porsche is more or less trying to use the same strategy. As coming into the next corner, it looks as though they're going to be side by side, more or less fighting for that position into this next corner. The Porsche gets a little bit too close. Thankfully, they missed us by quite a few meters. And it was at this point, well, we just had to try and pull away as best we can. The last thing I would have wanted was to get back into that little entanglement and exchange between that Ferrari and that Porsche back there. And at this point, we were about 2.5 seconds off from the vehicle just ahead of us. We could see him off in the distance, but I wasn't able to make enough ground by the end of the lap. But making it from 22nd to 7th by the end of this race was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoy starting from the back of the pack. As much as it has its chaos, it's also got its charm. There is no tire wear or anything like that, but you take what you can. And I really had fun this race. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And as much as I'd like to point out that I did set the fastest lap in this race, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm super happy that you stuck it out this far into the video. I hope you guys have a great one, and make sure to keep that rubber side down.